Welcome to the Ecosystem Effect. My name is Victoria Ross, and today we're going to be sitting with Alexis Underwood. She's an intern here at the I2C, and she has started her own business before she graduated. So we're going to talk to her about her experience and how being at the I2C has impacted the way that she has grown her business. So start by letting us know what you're currently studying at UAH.
I'm currently getting my MBA, which is a Master's in Business Administration, and I graduated in May with my undergrad in Political Science and Communication.
Awesome. And what made you want to study that in the first place, honestly?
Business?
No, political science.
Oh.
That's deep.
Mm.
It's real deep.
So basically, I wanted to be a lawyer my whole life, and I didn't know what I wanted to study going into college, but I interned in high school at a law firm, and the person that I interned with majored in political science, and he told me that you get a lot of the skills you need for law school getting a political science degree, such as research and writing and communication and stuff.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Okay, so what made you want to start it while you were in school versus when you finish? Because that's big.
So, I grew up in a sort of like middle to upper middle class background. So I know I have a lot of advantages a lot of people don't have, but I don't have some of the opportunities some like the top 1% have. And so I've always been a very ambitious person. I want to live a prosperous life, and I wanted to achieve that prosperous life through law school. But being in college, I know to be wealthy, you need to have a diverse income, and so I might as well start now.
Yeah. Multiple streams. I hear you. Awesome. Okay, so tell us what your company is called and exactly what you do and what your ideal client is.
Sure.
So my company is called Underwood Research and Admin, after myself. It's a sort of paralegal for hire business. I noticed working in the legal field as an intern and then a legal assistant that a lot of sole practitioners or smaller firms kind of struggle with the day-to-day task of running their firm. And so they may not be able to hire on full-time or even part-time help, but they may be able to contract out some work to do simple administrative tasks such as billing, scanning, filing, all those types of things. So just when it starts to pile up and they don't have the time, but they have a little bit of extra income. So with that being said, my ideal client is probably smaller sole practitioner lawyers, because working here at the I2C, I've seen a lot of startup businesses, and that's kind of inspired me to want to uplift smaller companies.
I love that. That kind of led into what I was going to ask later on, though, was how has the I2C like impacted you wanting to start your business? But that's really cool because you saw a need and you were like, I'm going to create a solution, you know? And, on this podcast, I've talked to a lot of like leaders and stuff in the community. And that's one thing they always say is that the best way to start a business is to see a need and then create the business, because they were like, people usually will create a business and there's no need for what they created. So they're like, I don't have any money. And it's like, there wasn't a need.
I'm definitely learning about that in my MBA. And that's another reason that inspired me to go ahead and just start my business, because being in my MBA, I'm surrounded by many entrepreneurship and business-minded people. So that kind of pushed me from having more of an employee type role to a business
partnership.
owner.
Yeah. That's super cool. I love it. So you've been offering services since 2022. What made you decide that now was the right time to launch officially?
So I've been offering services as sort of a contractor since 2022, because I learned how to do it as a legal intern, and then as a legal assistant, I kind of learn more of the skills and more of the daily tasks that go into running a law firm. So I know kind of what that administrative tasks looks like. After I graduated, I was working full time for about a month as a paralegal. And when I was working at that firm, I wasn't allowed to continue my outside work, my contracted work. And so then when I left, I was still in with the mindset that I wanted to be an employee and work as a paralegal. And with the job market being what it was extremely hard. And I was just like, okay, I guess this is the perfect time to
jump.
To jump.
Yeah,
to jump into it.
Wow, that's okay. That's really cool. And that's like super brave in my opinion, because a lot of people would just be like, okay, well, I don't work there anymore, so I guess I'm just going to have to do something else that I don't want to do. But you were like, no, I still want to do this. I'm going to figure out a way to continue doing it. And that's really cool. I love that. Okay, so what role has the Huntsville community played in your journey so far?
So I kind of know a lot of the area is tech-based, innovation, engineering. That's the big thing in Huntsville, Rocket City.
Yeah.
But coming to UAH and even majoring in the arts and humanities in undergrad, you kind of see that there's not a big emphasis, not a lot of funding thrown that way. But the non-tech and engineering side here in Huntsville is booming, even if it's not what we're known for. Since it's not as big as the tech world, everyone kind of knows each other.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And
small circles.
Huntsville's not a big city like New York City, so everyone pretty much knows each other.
Yeah.
So it's been easy to kind of network, because once you meet a couple people, you have connections to everyone.
Yeah, that's very true, actually. I love Huntsville, because I'm not from Huntsville, but I can agree with everything you just said. It's like, it's small enough that once you start networking and planting those seeds, it's like, someone through someone for sure. Yeah.
And I try to be that person for other people too. If I know someone who has a need and someone who needs a need met, then I try to connect them.
Yeah.
And that's kind of also what I want to do with my business. And I'm all about meeting needs and supporting people the way that I've been supported in the past.
That's really cool. I love that. So can you tell them how old you are? Because it blew my mind when you told me.
I'm 21.
Killing it. Okay, killing it. So how are you balancing school, your new position as
I'm a graduate teaching assistant.
Like, how do you balance all of this, running a business and doing all of these things at the same time?
How am I balancing? It's been a wild ride for sure. Definitely some sleepless nights. But I think that's true of any college student.
Who cares?
Yeah, we'll sleep when we're dead. I mean, you also have to take some time for some self-care and just set some boundaries that I'm not going to work on this day. So on my website, I actually have what hours I'm available outside of being a teaching assistant. So I have certain hours that I have set up for being a teaching assistant and grading and whatever the professors need. And so I have to balance that as well as volunteering or, hanging out with friends. It's, I basically live out of my calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be like that. Okay, kind of off topic, but not really. Do you schedule in downtime and time with friends and time to do nothing? Do you actually write that stuff down to remind yourself to slow down?
No.
No? Oh my god, you just get to it when you get to it.
Yeah, I'm just like,
I kind of, okay, but I will say, if my friends schedule something with me or I reach out to them, I haven't seen them in a while, and I schedule something with them, I'm not going to cancel it because I have a business opportunity. I'm going to say, I'm sorry, I'm already committed at that time. So it just has to be a willingness to give and take. And knowing that that business opportunity can be pushed, and you also have to work on maintaining those real life relationships as well.
True, true. Because your friends are important. They're there before the business. They'll be there after the business. So, what has been the biggest challenge so far in starting your business?
My biggest challenge so far has kind of been the fact that I don't really know what I'm doing when it comes to the business side of things. I just started my MBA last semester, and so I don't really, I didn't know who to call, where to file certain things, how long to wait to follow up, like what's normal. But it's been a really interesting learning curve, and I've actually been able to help someone else through the process of starting their LLC.
Awesome.
Since I started it. And that's really, again, what I want to do, is to help people in a way that maybe I didn't have that. I didn't have someone to guide me through it. I just figured it out, trial and error. I want to uplift people.
I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So, do you think more lawyers, especially solo practitioners, should consider working with services like yours?
So, I mean, of course, I'm going to be a little bit biased and say I think my businesses like mine are really helpful, especially when they're getting off the ground, because they don't have the capital to hire someone, even part-time. You have to pay that salary, and it's just, sometimes it's just not doable. You're fresh out of law school, you have loans, and then you're getting paid based on your caseload, or however you're being paid, hourly, by fee, and maybe you just don't have the money to hire someone on a regular basis. But when things start to pile up, or when you're doing better, you can kind of contract out. And so I think it helps to build up the business. Yeah. I mean, in the long run, of course, it would be more beneficial, in my opinion, to hire someone on. But that's why my main target really for my business is people who are just starting out, people who are fresh out of law school. And then, of course, my long-term goal is to go to law school, so I just want to build those connections as well. Yeah.
I also think being a fresh graduate from law school, you may not know how to do every single thing just yet.
Or you didn't intern, or however, you didn't gain the experience, you don't know where to file what. Someone who, my business, they already have plenty of experience, so it's also a judgment-free zone. Like, I've been clueless before, and I'm always open to helping people learn kind of the ropes of how to do certain things. So that's also something we can guide each other. They help me learn about the law school process. I help them learn about the nitty-gritty, the day-to-day tasks.
Because it's different. It's different by state, right? Okay, I see. Okay, so you mentioned earlier that you want to be a lawyer. So what made you want to be a lawyer?
I've kind of just always wanted to be a lawyer. I mean, you've always heard people when they say the little kids who like to argue.
I knew you were going to say that.
I mean, that was definitely me. But, growing up, I that's just what I always thought I would do. I grew up watching lawyer shows, which obviously that's not,
what it's like. It's not going to be like Suits and...
But if you like it, if you like that, like what they're doing in that show, then that tracks. That tracks.
I've always been kind of an outgoing kid, not afraid to get up and speak or perform or whatever on a stage. And I always thought that would kind of naturally transition into law, and when you're, speaking in front of judges, in front of clients, doing big presentations, that's something I love to do. I was a communication minor.
This fits.
And I really loved it when I started interning in high school. So
Nice.
Very cool. Very cool. So, do you plan to keep growing the business after law school, or will it evolve into you just being a lawyer?
So, I guess it kind of depends on my success in my business ventures.
Gotcha.
In an ideal world, I would build the business up, because right now I'm doing, everything from all the tasks, all the accounting, all the business management, everything that goes into this business, I'm doing it. But in an ideal world, we would grow so much that we have so many clients that I can't do it all on my own, and I have to hire people for certain tasks. So when these attorneys hire based on what services they need, I can send people out based on that service, and then I would just take on more of a managerial role. And I think even being an attorney, I could manage this company from outside. And I also have notary services, but that has to be me because it's under my name.
Yeah.
But all the other things I can train people to do, and that would be a way to have a sort of supplemental income while I'm in law school, and then also, have a diverse income while I'm being an attorney.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are some misconceptions that people have about what it means to be a young entrepreneur?
I know, in general, a lot of people think that this may be your whole life, or it's like people I've heard, especially young entrepreneurs on social media, talk a lot about how education is not important because
I've heard it.
I've definitely heard what is this education going to do for you? You just want to be an entrepreneur. And I think I'm 100% against that. I am fully for education. I mean, I know education is not for everybody, don't get me wrong, but I always knew education was for me. I've always really liked school. I mean, not to say that there haven't been some ups and downs.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I like school.
Yeah.
I've always liked school. I try to get everything I can out of it. And that's another thing too, is you gain these connections, being in the entrepreneurship club and being even here with engineers and science majors, you can make connections you never thought you would need, but you have them. And then when you grow your business, you can reach out to those people. And I think it's easier being in a college setting because you have a lot of like-minded people, whereas if you're kind of out in the world, it's harder. You have to work harder to find those people.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, the last question is, what advice would you give other students who are thinking about launching something before they graduate?
Okay. I would say a couple things. One is make sure there's a need for your business. You might be interested in it and your business model might be good and on paper it sounds great, everything works out, but when you start to look for clients, the market might be saturated, or there might be no market for it in this area. So I would definitely recommend doing some research before starting. Maybe trying to get a few clients beforehand. Like for me, I already had clients that I was doing this contracted work for, so I knew when I started my business that I wasn't starting from zero. And I would also say to have a community that you can depend on and bounce ideas off of, because a lot of times when you have your business and you have your ideas, they sound great to you. You've got your one way, perfect, you're like, I've got it. But you need people to tell you that doesn't make sense,
Mhm.
or this is too ambitious for the time you have available. It's also about managing your time and making sure that you still can graduate and meet your other goals, and how much time you're going to allocate to it. So yeah.
Keep it realistic. That was great.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for sitting with us today. It's been amazing. And honestly, I think that you are killing it in life. And I cannot wait to see where you go.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.
Bye.